Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Melandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Steve Steinour, CEO of Nasdaq-listed Huntington Bancshares, to discuss Huntington's position in the communities it serves and the resources available for consumers and businesses. Steve, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thank you, Jill. Pleasure to be with you also.
All right, you got it. And let's kick it off with the great performance that we saw for the first quarter for Huntington Bank, especially in the face of economic uncertainty and headwinds. Tell us more about the quarter.
It was a fabulous quarter from our perspective. We had very strong loan growth, roughly 10% on the commercial side, annualized, and good deposit growth, good fee income, managed expenses well. Credit quality was fantastic. So just about across the board, everything turned in the way we had hoped and planned for. So we feel very, very, very good about the quarter.
Let's go back to the commercial loan growth for a moment here. What was the driver behind that?
Well, we have a number of businesses that came to us with the TCF acquisition last June. We doubled our asset finance. We have an inventory finance business that's net new to us. We've increased our presence in important markets like Chicago and opened up in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, as well as Denver. So we have new markets as well. And last year we started investing, putting teams in place in middle market, business banking, wealth, a host of other areas. And it just took naturally a 90, 120 or so days for those teams to really start to gel. That is the case. In addition to the core team we have here performing very well, we have this additive component from the TCF acquisition.
Steve, what are your thoughts on inflation and its impact on the U.S. and the Midwest economy specifically?
Well, inflation's a challenge for us throughout the country. We see it in wages and other forms of compensation. We're seeing it on the commodities. We're seeing it, think of gas at the tank as an example, but it's flowing through in multiple ways. It's also a problem on the parts side. So we're seeing price increases for delivery of different parts or components of autos or construction, in particular, construction materials have had significant inflation. By and large, now lumber's down, but by and large, there's been an inflationary element to most of the businesses.
And Huntington has an 11-state footprint from Pennsylvania to Colorado, but many parts of your business have national scale. Tell us more about the national aspect of Huntington.
Well, we have a very large equipment finance business. We're number 6 or 7 nationally. We've got offices around the country. We have a very large inventory finance business. We're number 2 nationally in that line of business. We do a lot with healthcare. We run that on a national basis. We do a lot with franchise finance. So most of the QSR, quick service, food retail, we finance, and that's a national business for us as well. Commercial real estate's a big business for us. That's national in scope. So those are half dozen of the national businesses. We have a few others.
How does the acquisition of Capstone Partners better position Huntington to service its clients, and what do you expect the impact to revenue will be?
Well, our clients, we have almost 500,000 business clients, and for many of them, they're going to be involved in either generational transfers or considerations of what to do with the business over the next decade. Being able to offer them advice and valuation services and potentially support them if they decide to go in an M&A approach is a natural next step. So we'll have synergies from this combination that should be significant. And if they choose an M&A option, then we want to be there on the private banking investment advisory side as well. So this is highly synergistic. It's a great team. We've already been working together for about a year on a referral basis and a fee share arrangement. We've gotten to know them. The culture is a terrific fit. It's a very, very talented group. I was in the Denver office a week ago. Great group of new colleagues. We hope to close that later this quarter, and we'll be providing revenue guidance at that time.
You recently welcomed Brent Standridge as the new president of Consumer and Business Banking. How will that hire transform the consumer experience?
Well, we've been on a journey for the last decade or more. We termed it originally as fair play banking. And it had to do with helping the consumer in a variety of ways, upfront disclosures, eliminating junk fees, things like that, but also trying to keep a balanced equation so that we always were looking out for our customers. And so there are a variety of elements to that. It started with 24-hour grace, and it's last year it was standby cash, and we're about to release a feature this quarter called instant access. So if you make a deposit, you can get a certain amount of it back instantly. So these are elements of how we're trying to distinguish our product and capabilities. Our colleagues deliver a J.D. Power award-winning service year in, year out, and they do that in part because they see what we're prepared to do as a company to look out for our customers and help the consumers.
And Steve, explain to us what fair play banking is.
It's the philosophy we took in 2010. Consumers were hurting in the Midwest. Unemployment was high, 10% here in Ohio, 14% in Michigan. And customers the industry was going in a certain direction, adding requirements to get checking accounts. And we went the other way. We made an asterisk-free checking account. There are no fees around it. We provided an opt-out feature. So if you didn't want us to pay an overdraft, you do that up front. If you did ever have for any instance, have an overdraft, if you gave us a web address or mobile, we would text or email, and you had 24 hours to make it good, no charge. So those initiatives were part of an underpinning that over time has evolved into just a series of what I think now make us the most consumer-friendly bank in the country.
Tell us about Huntington Bank's community plan that you announced last year.
Well, last year we in coming together with TCF, we updated an existing community plan, and because we're coming into new markets and we have additional scale, we increased the size of it. So this is a 5-year plan at $40 billion. It has a number of components. There's a lending component, mortgage, small business. We have a very unique small business program we do in concert with the SBA and another organization called Operation Hope, where we do microloans to women, minorities, veterans, and recently released. So it's our effort to get into the neighborhoods and help entrepreneurial men and women who otherwise won't have access to any capital, certainly any leverage, to get in business. And we've put $100 million against the plan. We've got about 35 million outstanding, another 25 in the pipeline. So we're clearly going to be at 100 million sometime later this year, early next, and we'll have to upsize that program. But there are a series of unique products that we offer. And in addition, we do a lot with housing tax credit and community development. So think about neighborhood YMCAs or other nonprofits in the neighborhoods, or businesses trying to go into harder hit neighborhoods and revitalize buildings or reconstitute a business locally. We finance a lot of those, and proud to do it. And we're a big tax credit investor as well.
How does brand and culture fit into Huntington's overall strategy?
It's a very important component to how we approach each other. We talk about it as a category of one. We want to be the best place our colleagues will ever work. And so looking out for them, helping them, going out of our way to look out for each other sets up a dynamic then to do the same thing for our customers. And that's what we're trying to infuse throughout the company and make sure that every day we're helping people lead better lives, our business customers thrive, and make our community stronger. And so there's a lot of energy devoted to this purpose for which we come to work every day.
And Steve, I'd like to wrap up and talk about Ohio specifically, which is starting to get a lot of tech buzz. Intel announced it's investing $20 billion to construct 2 new leading-edge chip factories outside Columbus, Ohio. What was Huntington's role in this investment, and what is the significance for the Columbus and greater Ohio community?
Look, Huntington as a company did not have a singled out role. There are a group of about 70 companies that have created something called the partnership, the Columbus Partnership, and an affiliate to that is an organization that does economic development. We also funded Jobs Ohio. We were the first funder in the prior administration when that was created, and that's the source for economic grants and other activities through the state. It's a quasi-state organization. It's very incredibly well run as well. And so as Intel approached, I happened to be with 3 of them last night for dinner, as they approached a new fab location in the country, they didn't even have Ohio on the map. But when they came here and they saw the willingness to work with, the opportunities of natural resources and other aspects that were attractive to them, including a very large land assemblage, which at the time they visited did not exist. It was put together in a matter of months, 1,000 acres contiguous with another 750 under an option, a long-term option. These are the sorts of things that Ohio can do well. The governor, lieutenant governor, the administration, the state, Jobs Ohio, and the collective local development organizations with the communities, we collaborate and we act with speed. That happened in about 7 months. So a remarkably quick level of combined commitment to bring things together. Now, I happen to be in the Columbus Partnership and one of the co-chairs, so had some peripheral knowledge and provided support for what occurred. But this was really New Albany Realty, the local communities, the state, Jobs Ohio. These organizations just came together in a magnificent way in an incredibly quick period of time.
Yeah, truly a remarkable success story. And we look forward to learning more about that, Steve. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Jill, always a pleasure. Thank you.